Welcome to the Igniting Hope podcast, where you will experience catalytic encouragement and practical tools to renew your mind with truth instead of lies, so you can experience transformation in your emotions, circumstances, and influence. Let's break off self-limiting beliefs together like never before.
Thank you for joining me for this podcast. The title of today's message is Soul Prosperity. I believe this message has a key for you. It's going to break off the victim mindset. It's going to help you overcome lies and help you overcome feeling powerless, because there's something that you can do. 3 John 2 says, "Beloved, I pray that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." The inference of that is that physical health and outer prosperity and blessing is linked to what's happening on the inside of us. One of the declarations that I love to share, and this is on my 25 beliefs to declare on my website, ignitinghope.com. By the way, those 25 beliefs to declare, I dare you to find those and download them and say them morning and night for a month. I dare you. You know, there's no progress unless we're trying something new. It's never convenient to try something new. This is pretty simple. It's an experiment. I've had people do experiments with declarations, and we've done declaration experiment with our online family. And we've heard so many testimonies of those who did 100 declarations a day, at least 100 a day for a month. So many testimonies, people saying that was one of the biggest breakthroughs I ever got. I heard somebody the other day testifying, and I've got my declaration clicker, and that's my thing that I do. I make 700 declarations at least a week, or I pay my assistant $3. And by the way, I usually do it, almost always. But this, just a week ago or so, I didn't do it because I lost my clicker. I was traveling. I wasn't feeling well. And so I paid $3, but I'm back on it. But I heard somebody testify that they were struggling, and the whole group of them were people who said they got clickers together. It's a tally counter. You get them on Amazon. You get them online. You just count. You click. Everywhere I go, revival breaks out. My prayers for my family are working. But they said that brought breakthrough. So this is a declaration that I have under the 25 beliefs to declare for leaders and influencers is the Soul Prosperity Declaration. My response to something is almost always more important than the something. My response to something is almost always more important than the something. Say that with me. My response to something is almost always more important than the something. Because my response is either going to take me on another lap in the wilderness, or it's going to take me higher. And it really ties into a previous podcast I just did that, talking about James 1:2-4, where it says, "Consider it pure joy or all joy, my brothers, when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." And it goes on to talk about how that's going to have its result in of us that being complete and perfect and lacking nothing. And that's a soul prosperity verse as well, there in James 1:2-4. Another soul prosperity verse is in Romans 5:3-4, where it says, "And not only that, but we glory or rejoice in tribulation, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." So it talks about just this decision, okay, I'm going to find God in the middle of the challenge. I'm going to keep doing it. It's persevering. I'm going to get something called character. Character is when we start making decisions not based on feelings and what other people want us to do, but we start making decisions based on core values and principles. That's character. But there's something greater than character. It's hope. and hope is the ultimate Christian maturity, in my opinion, because it's, hope and love. It's a perspective. It's how we see life. It's what gives us influence. It's what gives us joy. It's what makes us a person who is actually enjoyable to be around. But this soul prosperity, where we realize that our response to something is almost always more important than the something. I remember in the 1990s, I was with my wife, Wendy, and our daughter, Heidi, and I think she was about 16 or so, 15 or 16, and we had driven to Reno, where we were in Nevada. That's about a 4-hour drive, and coming home late that night, and a freak snowstorm blocked the road about an hour and 15 minutes from our house on a pass there, and the road was closed. And so I said, hey, let's take, I know an alternate route that's a 3 hours, it's about 10 o'clock at night. It's an alternate route, about 3-hour drive. And my wife and daughter said no, they vetoed the idea. So I was already a little bit unhappy because we had spent too much money, in my opinion, on our shopping trip. And so I'm not happy. I'm grouchy. I bet none of you have ever been that way. Grouchy. And so go to bed. We had to get a motel room that was a grungy motel, but I had to spend more money. Didn't like it. So I've got my back turned to Wendy. I'm not happy, not talking to her, not fun to be with. And the Lord starts speaking to me. How many know when God starts asking us questions, he's not looking for information. He wants to give us revelation. And the Lord says, Steve, what's wrong? Well, Lord, it's these women you've given me. I'm a victim of the women in my life. And no, I said, I just told him, I'm just frustrated, spending too much money, and I don't like it. And just, and he said, well, Steve, I can give you that money back, but your lack of soul prosperity is going to put a lid on your finances. It's going to put a lid on your emotional health. It's going to put a lid on even your physical health. So I suggest that you get some soul prosperity. And something began to click. I had heard about that before. I'd read a couple books by Harold Eberle, and I love his books. And Harold Eberle wrote a couple books called Developing a Prosperous Soul 1 and Developing a Prosperous Soul 2. It's short little booklets that really got some good insights, and it challenged me. And I was just meditating on that, and something began to click. Something began to click in me, and I believe something is clicking in you, and that it's being released right now over you through this podcast, a revelation. The frustrations that we experience and the disappointments. There's soul prosperity is a reality. Now, the evidence that, just thankfulness, you say, well, how can I, Steve? How can I increase my soul prosperity? What are you saying? Well, you can increase it certainly through thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is so powerful. Thanksgiving is, we enter his gates with thanksgiving. I say this on many of the podcasts when I'm talking about joy, about the joy of the Lord being our strength, a merry heart being like good medicine. And thanksgiving is a gateway into soul prosperity. It's a fruit of soul prosperity, and it leads into soul prosperity. Healthy people have their eyes looking upward and outward. Unhealthy people are always looking inward and are looking down and are looking backwards. Let me say that again. Healthy people are looking upward and outward. Unhealthy people are looking inward and backwards. And so as we increase our soul prosperity, we can increase it through thanksgiving. I mean, that alone is going to do it, by increasing thanks. I've taught many times, if you're stuck, enter his gates with thanksgiving. Thanksgiving always will unstick you. You increase thanksgiving to God and people, you'll get unstuck. And so that's so powerful. And then generosity is a fruit of soul prosperity, but also leads to soul prosperity, of being generous. Luke 6:38 says, give and it will be given to you. Press down, good measure, overflowing into your heart. The measure you use will be measured back to you. And it's not talking there about finances. The previous verses, it says, condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. And so it's a principle that whatever we want in life, we give away. So generosity is a gateway into soul prosperity and is also an evidence of soul prosperity. Hope is a fruit of soul prosperity, but as we pursue hope, and we're Igniting Hope Ministries, so we kind of like hope around here. But as we go after the lies, because a lack of soul prosperity, a soul poverty, a soul lack. David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. He had a prosperous mindset. But hope, the lies that are creating our lack of hope, as we begin to replace them with truth and renew our mind with truth, it's going to naturally lead into soul prosperity. And so I want to ask you, I'm talking to leaders, influencers, parents, friends, people who have done a lot in your life, others you're in the beginning of your life. And I want to ask you, what's your soul prosperity like right now? Wendy and I would do finances together. That dark cloud would hover over us. We'd turn into other people. And the Lord said, your response to your finances is a bigger problem than your finances. Some of you have children, where there's frustration. Your response to what your children are doing is a bigger problem than what your children are doing. And again, people say, well, I don't know, I don't want to let go, because if I let go, if I let go of this feeling, I might get taken advantage of. I might it may be an indication that I'm not concerned anymore about it. And listen, the Lord, I believe, as you pursue what I'm saying today and you take it deeper, and some of you have already doing that. This is a word to take it deeper. Others of you, this is a revelation that you're going to get. That listen, God's going to lead you in this. I'm just telling you from my own experience how important. I remember as a church leader, struggling with things and, just financial things, people things. And the Lord says, I want you to devote more time to your soul prosperity in the middle of these things, because once you get soul prosperity, you're unstoppable. And I believe it. Those who get soul prosperity are unstoppable. And so as I begin to really see, the fruit of the evidence, I've already said some of the evidences of thankfulness, generosity, hope, joy, being concerned about others, outward eyes, having fun is an evidence of soul prosperity. Childlikeness, it's an evidence. This belief to work out the soul prosperity belief, and my response to something is almost always more important than to something, is a key belief. And I speak over you today, life and blessing. You're in a season right now of increased soul prosperity. You're in a season where God is giving you the keys Joseph in the Old Testament is a great example of the soul prosperity. The person who experienced that. He thrived no matter what happened. He thrived in jail. He thrived when he was falsely accused. He thrived when there was a delay. He thrived in Potiphar's house as a slave, as a servant. And he had soul prosperity. He was unstoppable. He kept it there. You're a Joseph. You're a modern day Joseph who, some of you have been falsely accused. Some of you are imprisoned in family situations that are very difficult. Some of you are serving. You have gifts way beyond what's being used right now, what's being utilized in the environments that you're in, and you feel like you're being restricted. But you're a Joseph, and you're going to serve the Potiphars. And because of you, because of Joseph, Potiphar was blessed because of you. Because of your soul prosperity in the environments that you are in, the very environments, the very people, the very leaders are blessed because of you, because you are going after it. The 3 Hebrew children, the 4 in Daniel 1, they had soul prosperity, and they were blessed. Hey, I bless you with this message. If you like it, why don't you tell somebody else about it? Send it to them, and hey, just subscribe for our podcast. If you can put a comment in the podcast area where you're at, that's always a blessing. And just we always enjoy it when you send us an email at our website, info@ignitinghope.com, saying, wow, that you are blessed by this message. And just frequently, I've had people I've said to do this. Hey, come up to me if you're in travel. When I'm traveling, come up to me if you're a podcast listener and just tell me. And I've had people in Germany. I had somebody in Mexico. I just had somebody at the Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry first year come up to me and say that. And it always blesses me. Thank you for that. And I'm going to be traveling coming up. The week that this is released, I'll be in Casper, Wyoming in the weekend. And then Wendy and I are going to be in Round Rock, Texas. I will be in Edmond, Oklahoma. That'll both happen in November. And then in December, I'll be in Mesa, Arizona, and Medford, Oregon. January, Caldwell, Idaho, and I think Wendy and I will be there. And then I will be in Powell, Ohio, near Columbus, Ohio. I'll be in Mexico in February, and that's about as far as I can go. We're starting a prophetic class that's coming up here in the middle of November, 4-week online prophetic class called Igniting the Prophetic in You. And I believe that I and we at Igniting Hope have such a unique, powerful way to communicate about the prophetic, and not just prophesying, but being a prophetic teacher, a prophetic preacher, being prophetic in our homes. It's not just giving a word, it's a way of seeing life. It's valuing the power of our words, because death and life is in the power of the tongue. And the truth is that life is in the power of the tongue. And so that course is happening in the middle of November. And so you can check that out at ignitinghopeacademy.com, ignitinghopeacademy.com. My wife, Wendy, is starting a course in a 5-month online course in January called Academy of the Unseen Realm. And that is just such a great thing with Wendy and what she does and her revelations. And she's in a whole new season right now of revelation and impact. And so if that sparks you, again, at ignitinghopeacademy.com. And we always say, if you can't afford one of our courses, get in touch with us at info@ignitinghope.com and tell us what you can do, because we never want finances to be a reason why people can't do one of our courses. And hey, by the way, we've got a new website at ignitinghope.com. Same address, different look. Check it out. We are really excited about that. Grace on our team was the one who put that together. Hey, all right. We're here at Igniting Hope for you. We're here to help you with your beliefs, your thinking, your leadership, your hope. There's no hopeless circumstances. There's just people who do not have hope. And once people get true hope, circumstances cannot stay the same. Hope is an unstoppable force. It's unstoppable. If something's going to change, somebody has hope. Somebody believes the future will be better than the present, and they have the power to help make it so. Hope and vision are linked. Without a vision, the people perish. Without hope, without vision, we lose energy. We become survivalistic, but the more hope and more vision we have is the more power and purpose we'll have in the present. Increasing hope is the evidence we're renewing our mind with truth instead of lies, and that we're creating positive strongholds in our life. Decreasing hope in our lives or an area of our life is the evidence we're renewing our mind with lies and creating negative strongholds. There's no hopeless situations. And I believe this, that after love, hope is the most powerful leadership quality there is, that our hope level determines our influence level, and he who has the most hope has the most influence. And remember, too, the joy of the Lord is your strength. We don't need strength at the end of the battle. We need strength in the middle of the battle. For pretty much everybody listening today, this season is not a good season to be radically joyful. I've never found a convenient season to be radically joyful. There's always a reason why this is not the season. Too much disappointment, too much negative media, too much bad stuff going on in our government, too much, is just happening. And, obviously in election seasons and all of that, we're tempted to just move into feeling powerless, feeling like a victim. But no, the joy of the Lord is our strength. We're not victims. We're powerful. We thrive no matter what happens. We stand for things. We're not passive. We vote. We're in the process. We're communicating, but we're not victims. And the joy of the Lord is our strength. And a merry heart truly is good like medicine. One of the ways to stay emotionally and physically healthy is to value laughter, to make a habit. Great leaders have great beliefs, great priorities, and great habits. And it's important to be in that order. And one of the habits developed is the habit of laughter. Woohoo! I've written books, let's just laugh at that. Possessing joy, igniting joy in 40 days. Let's just laugh at that for kids. We got a kids version, and got a lot of books on Amazon if you want to find them there or at our website, ignitinghope.com. And we increase joy through thanksgiving by focusing on what we have, by focusing on how far we've come. We increase our joy by seeing what God is doing in us through the challenges that we face. And we increase joy by delighting in the Lord. We delight ourselves in the Lord, and he gives us the desires of our heart. And the delighter in that context of Psalm 37, verse 4, is delighting with unfulfilled desires. A desire is something that we want to see happen that hasn't happened yet. And the delighter is delighting with those unfulfilled desires, saying, woohoo, Lord, I can't wait to see what you're going to do in that area of my life. I can't wait. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to do it. The delighting is the opposite of the spirit of heaviness that's mentioned in Isaiah 61. And we don't laugh all the time. We weep with those who weep. I get that. But a chronic lack of joy is going to work against us. And there's no convenient season. And so I bless you with increased joy. Hey, if you want to be involved in a community that we're doing, an online community. I think it's $9.99 a month. It's called Hope Arena. It's something that Rob Weir and Connie Jones and our team are leading, and it's a weekly online Zoom Connect meeting, and that's just a special thing. And also, if you want to become a vision partner, and so regularly into Igniting Hope, you can find that out. How to do that if you want to sow regularly into Ignite, or if you want to do a one-time and don't want to be a vision partner, you can find that out at ignitinghope.com on our give and donate part of our website. And vision partners, we've got some special benefits for you: connection, some relational connection time with me and online, and then some benefits that are fun. And hey, but if you don't feel like you're called to sow into Igniting Hope, that's fine as well. You just do what you believe the Lord wants you to do. And we're so thankful for you being a part of our family. And those who are listening for the first time, you can go to ignitinghope.com, and you want to sign up for our newsletter. We do a weekly blog every Monday that goes along with the podcast and announcing where we're traveling and other things as well. Hey, let's do this. I love this. Have you pray for 5 seconds for Igniting Hope. We've been doing this, and it's so exciting because I'm modeling that 5 seconds of prayer where we attach faith is more powerful than 30 minutes where we don't attach faith. And so, whether you want to pray for us, we have a staff member, Ash Anderson, who's with us for 6.5 years. She's transitioned out and now has got a job with Bethel with their online supernatural school. We're so excited for Ash. She served us so well. It's a new season for her. You can pray for her. You can pray for future staff as we pray into that. You can pray for the courses that are going on right now, which is Wendy's Victorious Emotions course. You can pray for the future travel. Also, just really feeling like we're in a season of increase and blessing, and we just love, your prayer for the health over us, physical health in all of our bodies, our staff, our team. You can pray also for those who are doing the Backlund Leadership Academy, a 9-month online leadership academy. We'll most likely do that again next September, but we have 40 students who've really made a big commitment right now to be a part of that. And some of you who are listening are doing that, or somebody. Wow, it's been so fun. Yeah, just to pray for 5 seconds, whatever's on your heart to pray for us here at Igniting Hope. We value it because your prayers are powerful and effective. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're able to right now take a moment to just out loud, just verbally thank God that what you prayed is happening. Yeah, just do that right now. And I pray for you. I pray for you. Blessing. And I just speak a blessing into your life, into your relationships, into your family, into your health, into your relationship with God. Your influence would grow even exponentially and positively. That's a good word. And if you're here at the end of this podcast, you are blessed, because I'm going to give you a few prophetic words that I'm hearing. One of the things that I'm hearing is that somebody who has battled dyslexia and that has really created a blockage in your communication and writing, there's healing for that. There's breakthrough. And I hear the Lord just saying, step out, start writing, start communicating, start declaring at a higher level that you're free from that. You have a sound mind. You're a great communicator. You're a great author. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm hearing this, that there's somebody has told you no, you got an idea, just a big vision of yours. You went to somebody and someone said, nope, that's impossible. That can't happen here. And I hear the Lord saying, try one more time, knock on the door, And there's even somebody else within the environment of that you're knocking on the door on that's a different person who's going to respond. And the door is going to open for something incredible. I'm hearing this. Write the song. Invest in it. Invest in getting it published. And I'm also hearing that a child of yours who seems to be having, the most difficulty in school, that it's going to click. There's just going to be a turnaround. It's going to click. And I even hear you saying your words of saying, yep, you're going to get it. You're smart. It's going to click. Your words of saying that are going to, even though it may not seem to be heard, it's heard and it's going to click. And there's going to be a turnaround in academics, and it's going to lead to a turnaround even in responsibility and in the future. And that person's a future business leader. All right. Hey, God bless you. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast from Igniting Hope.
Thank you so much for listening. You can be a part of our live stream of this Igniting Hope podcast by joining our social media channels on YouTube and Facebook and hitting notifications. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. Help us get the message of hope out to more people by liking and sharing this podcast. Also, we have so many more incredible resources for you, including books, events, and courses on our website, ignitinghope.com. And why don't you say this concerning the message in today's podcast? I receive it, and I'll never be the same again.